My name is Jan Wortmann. I'm working with Bayer, and I have the pleasure presenting today the counterpart of clinical supplies, which is finished good traceability. Thank you, Bernhard, for being on this. As Chad was introducing, clinical supply is a major point in the life cycle of a given drug. As you know, today with the COVID situation, there are lots of our colleagues feverishly researching for new drugs, which will give us a vaccine in order to protect us against the coronavirus. So once these products found their efficacy and have been approved by the regulators, we have to bring these products to our patients worldwide. And this is what it is about finished good traceabilities, serving our markets worldwide in a more efficient way and traceable way. The pharma supply chain today. Drug makers ship their product to wholesalers, and from there on, they serve the pharmacies in their area. But we are not alone in this. There are several drug makers and several wholesalers which provide the pharmacies on a global scale. And this leads to a nice little crisscross following all the goods served all over the world. And this is all the same on the information side. As Chad was rightly laying out, there is usually visibility for the next step. That means a drug maker could see its goods, how they flow to a wholesaler. But beyond that, we do not have visibility of the product on the way to pharmacies, hospitals, or in rare cases, even to the patients. And this takes us to the following pain points. The missing end-to-end visibility from drug maker to pharmacy and vice versa. We do not have a clear idea as a drug maker how much product will be sold on the markets out there. So this gives us delayed and distorted demand signals, which might lead to scarce or overstocking in some areas, which is a costly situation. We do not have ideas about the whereabouts of our product. In the case that we see some issues with the product where we have to recall, we don't know where to find these goods that have been delivered all over the world. Today, we have very manual processes with lots of email, phone, or fax conversation to the next level, asking, where is my product? Would you kindly recall it, not to put our patients in any danger? This is the physical part of the supply chain. From the information part, we have siloed information, which usually is around people like our distributors or transport companies like DHL and UPS. They have huge information, but this is not accessible for the rest of the world. So this turns into a huge number of IT interfaces, and information which is already there is not accessible to us.
So thank you, Jan, for nice explaining the current situation. Let me now turn our attention to the right side of the slide. Let him now explain me what are we striving for in our Pharma Ledger project by using the blockchain technology. First of all, we would like to connect and share information across the whole ecosystem. This is the main point we are striving for, not in silos, as we just heard. We would like to have a peer-to-peer connection of all the participants in our ecosystem. And not only just being connected, we would like to have a trustworthy repository of information. We would like to store all the information in an immutable way. And this is the big advantages of using blockchain technology. And not only this, it's immutable and traceable. And having information available in a traceable way is a key success factor by interacting and sharing data with the health authorities, for example. We ensure with blockchain technology confidentiality of information. You see here a lot of manufacturers, you see here some wholesalers, and you see pharmacies. And with blockchain technology, we have the opportunity to restrict the way the participants in the ecosystem can share the information. So even competitors can share the information over the same blockchain. And we ensure that information are not, whatever, by surprise or by mistake, can be shown by someone else who should not see this kind of information. So this is a very big advantage of blockchain technology. And also by having this one part, we are able to onboard fast and easy new participants in the ecosystem. And think about the situation in the COVID we had beginning of this year, or still have. And we are changing our supply chain. We do not have a stable situation in our supply chain. We have new partners, old partners are leaving. We have to onboard them. We do not have the time for a long relationship in order to build on and to improve it. We have to be fast. And blockchain technology enables us to onboard them in a very fast way. And this is also a competitive advantage for us if we have this flexibility, if we have blockchain technology in order to come up with new partners in a very fast way. And not only with the ecosystem, also the patients are able to be connected. And you know, green is becoming much more important in our times. And many companies started showing or being transparent to their patients where the products are coming from. And we in the pharmaceutical industry would also go this way. So we provide information to the patient. Is it the correct product, and where does it get produced, and which is the way for transportation to the patient? The whole ecosystem in our pharma supply chain. And by having these industry standards and solutions, we will be able to reduce costs. We have only one platform in our industry, not a lot of different systems. And this is a big advantage for all the partners. So they can use this platform and not setting up own platforms. And what is also a big advantage, not only for data sharing, this shipment tracking allows the sender to reduce the risk in their supply chain. They can control their transportation way. They can locate flight at any time of the journey. They can always answer the question, where is my product? And also we can provide a better customer experience by providing this real-time information to the shipment. Also, anyone in this ecosystem can ask the question, where's my product, and have the answer immediately. What is also, in addition to what we discussed, a very big advantage is the digital identities. We have to know who is the participant in our ecosystem. And we have to be sure that we are sending or receiving the information to and from this individual participant. So everybody gets a digital identity and can be identified in a unique way. Furthermore, the onboard procedure for new partner can be easily done and in a standardized way. So this is also an advantage for all of us. We guarantee a quality of onboarding, we reduce the effort, we have standardized procedures, and we ensure the confidentiality of information by having selected access rights. new partners are not restricted by functions or systems availability. Everybody can join this blockchain system, and we see big advantages for all of us, for all the participants in the whole ecosystem in our industry.
Thank you, Bernhard, for laying out the vision that we are pursuing with the pharma leisure traceability use case. Let us have a look on what is the value of what we are envisioning here. First of all, we see different value for different stakeholders in the supply chain. Starting off with the patients, and this is all to our heart, is secure and timely supply of our product. Secure is vital because we have to make sure that it is an unhampered product in a perfect state and authentic and authorized for the given market at hand, right? This is natural, but if we consider markets like Asia, where a lot of fake product is around, it's not. It's something very important and not taken for granted for all markets, like in the US or Europe. For the wholesaler and the distributors, it's very interesting because they will find reliable demand signals. They will find on-time and in full delivery, adjusted inventories to the demands on the markets at hand. And this turns into an optimized working capital, which is usually scarce on their side. And by this allows us to bring them only that amount of product which is really needed in the given market. Overall, we see reduced returns for expired stock, and by this again could drive down the cost. For the drug makers, we have a near real-time access to accurate supply chain information so that we know where the product is, we know in which state it is, and we can calculate on that estimated times of an arrival, for instance. And the reliable demand signals allow us to synchronize production, reduce inventory level, increase the customer service, and as said, reduce the returns for expired stuff, which is significant cost. And of course, with the possibility to recall product, we have an easy and fast mechanism to prevent our patients from product with potential risks. Over the board, there are additional advantages which are not tied to individual stakeholders. First of all, we have the increased patient safety through full product control over the entire supply chain. As indicated in the clinical supply use case, we had this one up, one down visibility in the past. Today, what we are envisioning is providing the full visibility over all stages of the supply chain and shared among the partner, which will give the patient the security that this product has only been handled in the hands of the right stakeholders and is not a fake product in this sense. We have, as said, the possibility of fast, efficient recalls and optimized costs over the board through for the benefit of the health system. And from the IT perspective, we have simplified, standardized interfaces and will be able to unlock previously siloed information. And putting this all together, this is the precursor for a whole set of additional use cases, which we will lay out later on in this presentation. Starting with clinical supply chain, we introduced the concept of finished good traceability. As a takeaway, Pharma Ledger connects the supply chain ecosystem for trusted and accelerated information sharing and facilitates incorporating new partners into the ecosystem, including patients. But Pharma Ledger does not end there. Electronic product information complements the supply chain capabilities of Pharma Ledger. Patrick Maher and Ken Thursby will introduce the concepts of electronic product information to you. Thank you very much.
The first question, which was most popularly voted, is what's the status of the projects? When do they go live? And is this only for the EU market or is it global? Okay.
The last part of that question, from the industry perspective, definitely all of the companies, the beneficiaries, members of the consortium are global players. They're marketing products around the world. And as Jan presented in his presentation, these supply chains are quite complex and extend over multiple geographies. So the intention is that while these solutions are designed within the EU market, that they could potentially be scaled to other markets in the future. And of course, that's really important for a blockchain solution, because the real value comes from scaling it to a network. And the more participants that are engaged in it, the more value that's created. In terms of the status, just to emphasize, Pharma Ledger is an innovation and research project, and it is its stated intention is to do a reference implementation in a pre-productive environment. That said, as Ken and Patrick mentioned with EPI, we've also chosen to accelerate some of these projects and to create a productive version well before the end of the project. So we're hoping that we can meet and exceed the stated objectives of Pharma Ledger by creating solutions that can already create value as soon as possible. And so that's our intention. And I think basically we intend to keep you updated on the status of this as we go forward through the regular newsletters or our pharmaledger.eu website. So I would, if you're not signed up for the newsletters, I think that's a great way to stay abreast on what the current status of the projects are. It's very dynamic. A lot of things are changing, of course, and that's where you can get the latest information.
I'm wondering if Jan or Bernhard from Finished Goods, would you have a view on the greatest benefit to regulatory agency in terms of your finished goods area?
Well, basically, our main provision to the agencies is that we guarantee the supply of unhampered and authentic goods. First of all, this is always traceable and might be open up to interested parties like the regulators. So did we supply the product in the right condition, to the right place, in the right form? This is the question that can be answered at any time via blockchain due to its distributed and authentic nature.
So the question was that the packs are not managed in the supply chain as single units, but on pallets. Mm-hmm. So how will this be solved, especially in the EU where aggregation is not required?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. We are working exactly on these fields to find a good and applicable way to drive efficiency, making use of existing standards. Basically, what we see is we have ASN and EPCIS as the main standards in this area, and we are tying these things together in order to provide an efficient and interesting solution to our partners.
Okay, super, thank you. Where do you store the data? Who owns, maintains, and ensures the security of the data? So can Jan or Bernhard pick that one up?
Sure, Martin. Hello, everybody. This is, I would say, by design. We have a specialized design which allows us to share minimum data on the blockchain, and the bulk of the data is stored in our local system. So the blockchain is, if you like, the interlink which provides you with the right direction where to ask for the data in this sense. And by this, we are not sharing GDPR relevant or other confidential information on the blockchain.
Super, thank you. Our next question, what's the one major risk you see with this technology that may disrupt the whole supply chain? I guess again for Jan and Bernhard.
The risk to risk, this is interesting. We believe data sharing in this case is a precursor, as Dan was laying out, for instance, for the AC/DC. So the ability to make sure that we can show to all interested parties, for instance, patients, regulators, that the right hands have touched the product. So this is one of the pieces. So this is not really, this is already a huge disruption from my point of view, since today we have no common way of looking into the provenance and the chain of custody of data. So from that point of view, this is the biggest piece. What we're intending is we are not trying to disrupt in the sense of taking the market share from other offerings. It's more the idea to connect things that are already there. If you consider, for instance, the packaging services like UPS, DHL, and all of that, they have huge applications for tracking. The problem is, if you make use of both of them, things are a bit complicated because you cannot look into both of the repositories. And the piece here is not to compete with them. It's put on a strategic perspective those dots together, which are missing in order to make sure that we can trace finished good, for instance, from the drug makers to pharmacies in this sense. It's from that point, the disruption is more the question of collaboration and trust. These are more the points we would put on the front page, instead of trying to put competition and disruption in this sense in it, right?
Thank you. The next question was also asked during your presentation, which underlying technology are you currently exploring? And are you in communication with regulatory agencies? And if so, what's their feedback about this approach?
Well, this I would prefer to pass this question more to Ken, since he's the closest contact to the regulators with the EPI. Technology-wise, it's clear we are providing a blockchain agnostic approach, which will not take us to the offering of one or the other vendor in this piece, which also should be make us able to work in public blockchains, not only in permission blockchains. So from that point of view, this is the technological aspect we are pursuing in this piece. Marco Cromo from the architecture stream could provide more insights to this piece. In the question of the discussion with the regulators, I would pass this shortly to Ken, since with EPI, they're exactly maintaining this piece.
Super, thank you. I'm very conscious of the time, so I'm going to just tackle one last question. Any questions that aren't going to be answered here live, we will endeavour to answer them via a blog post on our website and through our newsletters as well. So we'll try to make sure that there's answers for all of your questions. So the last question, it's sort of quite a wide one. Who's the owner of the blockchain in the Pharma Ledger project?
The Pharma Ledger project, Dan here, just to answer that, is has a governance work package, which is currently evaluating different governance models. We know that some entity or some consortium has to support and operate, or the solution or the platform beyond the life of the project. So that's part of the project that's in it, and the evaluation of the governance models is currently ongoing. The recommendation for that will happen in the near future.
Okay, super, thank you. Okay, I think we've taken all the questions we can in the time that we have available. Like I say, we'll try and endeavour to answer the others via the website and blog posts. So it remains for me to say thank you to all of our speakers for their excellent presentations today. I'd also like to thank everyone involved in the production of the webinar today. And I'd especially like to thank you, the audience, for your attendance and your participation today. The recording of this event will be available via the PharmaLedger website very soon after. And as Dan encouraged you earlier, if you're not already signed up to the newsletters, then we'd encourage you to do that and visit the PharmaLedger website to find the link to do that. Our next webinar is planned to be in February, early February of next year, and we look forward to seeing you all then. But for now, thank you for your participation. Have a great day.